Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. Ghost of Tsushima was already one of the most acclaimed games on PS4, and it became even better with the Director's Cut on PS5. Adding a new location with Iki Island and a host of DualSense features, Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut gives those who've already played on PlayStation 4 some great reasons to hop back in. Tsushima is just as beautiful as ever and the combat is just as excellent as you'd remember. When Mongols are on the shores of Tsushima Island, Samurai Jin Sakai must do anything he can to save his people, even if it means going against everything he's been taught his entire life. Ghost of Tsushima is often described as Assassin's Creed in Japan, so fans of the aforementioned series will feel right at home here. Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart. Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart is easily one of the best entries in the franchise to date. The long-running series from Insomniac features a Lombax named Ratchet fighting evil alongside his robot buddy Clank. Rift Apart introduces some new characters into the fold like Rivet, Ratchet's dimensional counterpart who's a freedom fighter against the evil Emperor Nefarious. When Clank gifts Ratchet a Dimensionator in the hopes that he'll find other Lombaxes, things go awry and they end up in another dimension. In our review of the game, we said, Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart is this year's summer blockbuster on PS5. Taking players through diverse and gorgeous worlds with excellent combat and platforming, Rift Apart is a ton of fun to play. Spider-Man – Miles Morales. Insomniac's Spider-Man released a few years ago, and you'll be hard-pressed to find a better superhero game. It sits right up top alongside the Batman Arkham series as many people's favorite. Since Insomniac knocked it out of the park, it was only inevitable that it'd make a follow-up. Spider-Man – Miles Morales isn't a full sequel, but it is a standalone adventure set in the same universe after the events of the first game. With Peter Parker on vacation, Miles Morales takes up the mantle of New York's friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. When Harlem comes under attack by an energy corporation hellbent on ruining the city for its own gain, Miles suits up to take them down with the help of a few friends. The city is fully explorable and features brand new suits, skills, and activities to complete. Control Ultimate Edition. The weird horror game from Remedy, which ties into the Alan Wake franchise, has its own quirks. Control is set in the oldest house, a brutalist building that houses a secret government agency, the Federal Bureau of Control, hence the name. It's here that the paranormal becomes reality as you fight your way through otherworldly enemies in the hopes of finding your brother. Control on PS5 features two graphics modes, one that boosts performance to 60 FPS and one that turns on ray tracing effects at 30 FPS. No matter which you choose, you're looking at a 1440p resolution that outputs at 4K. What's cooler here is that you can change these modes whenever you want in the display settings without having to quit out of the game and load from the main menu like with most other titles. As a cherry on top, the loading in Control on PS5 takes less than 10 seconds usually, far faster than what it was on PS4. Immortals Fenyx Rising. It's probably getting old to hear Immortals Fenyx Rising called a Breath of the Wild clone, but the comparisons are apt. It plays like The Legend of Zelda. Breath of the Wild meets Assassin's Creed Odyssey, taking the gameplay and art style from the former game and utilizing more of the Greek mythology featured in the latter. Mix in a ton of humor and it seemed destined for success. After Typhon escapes from Tartarus and vows to enact revenge on the gods, a young Greek hero washes up on the Golden Isle to find it in disarray. In order to defeat Typhon and his minions, you'll need to find the gods and help them restore their full powers. Immortals Fenyx Rising features several locations based on the Greek gods and has a slew of mythology enemies to take on. Not only can you flex your combat skills, but there are plenty of puzzles to solve as well. No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky was bad when it launched, and then it wasn't. With nearly unending support and a drive to make the game live up to its full potential, Hello Games worked night and day to deliver major content updates and quality of life fixes that drastically improved the game. What remains is an excellent game that was recently enhanced for PS5 with more populated, denser worlds, improved resolution and frame rates, and adaptive trigger support. Boasting a procedurally generated universe with over 18 quintillion planets, not a typo, No Man's Sky allows players to explore the vast wonders of the universe. From hostile planets with boiling temperatures and acid rain to more temperate, tropical climates, there's no shortage of things to discover. Collect resources to build bases and acquire better ships as you fly across the skies. Watch Dogs. Legion. The Watch Dogs series went from Chicago to San Francisco before ending up in London for Watch Dogs. Legion, which sees the developers tackle a post-Brexit dystopia ruled by a militaristic surveillance state. So, not far off from real life. To mix up the formula, Ubisoft made it so that anyone can be a playable character, from beekeepers to elderly grandmas. There is no such thing as an NPC here. Each type of character has unique traits and skills that they bring to the table, helping DedSec root out corruption across the city. Like previous entries in the series, it's all open world and features a host of activities to do and gear to unlock. To accommodate more players, it offers plenty of avenues to complete missions based on your playstyle. Whether you're a brawler, want to go in stealthier, or run in spraying paint on everything, you can do it.